Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Eduard. It's a set in 1/48 scale and it's a limited edition dual combo which is named as a Trener. Here you can see comparison with Hand of My Sister, and this is a completely new plastic. Here you can see some of the markings which are included. There should be 10 in total, so here you can see 5 of them, and kit number is 11152. So we have a commercial sample here, and here on the opposite side you can see 5 more marking options, and they're quite colorful. What is, I would say, something what you expect from such type of aircraft. Note that we also have all necessary bonuses inside, and as I say, the plastic itself is completely new, so it will be interesting to check it together. This is a first release of this plastic, and later it might be available as Profi Pack as well, but now if you want it you have to buy this limited edition, and I have no doubt that it will be sold out quickly, so it's better to hurry up if you want to get one. So packaging here is quite standard for Eduard. We have all plastic sprues packed into several plastic bags, but we are going to start with the clear frames. So they're packed into 2 Ziploc bags. And you can see even through the bags that the molding quality is quite nice, but here we can take a closer look together. And of course, Eduard offers you a possibility to open the canopy on 1/48 scale aircraft, so this is really cool, and molding quality seems to be fine. I don't see any possible issue here. And because this is a limited edition, we should have a pre-cut masks, which we will definitely check a bit later. So do not worry, you will see them and you will understand what it is. But if you had experience with Eduard, you already know what it is. So molding quality is really nice. As I said, you can copy the open cockpit, and I think masks are really handy with such canopy because of all this framing. It's better just to use pre-cut masks, get the actual precise paint work, and forget about it. So here you can compare these two sprues. They're absolutely identical because we are dealing with a dual combo here. So that's why we get 2 sets of identical sprues. Next we continue with another plastic bag. So here we have gray frames. And again, each sprue is supplied in a double set because you will be able to assemble 2 aircraft in a different combinations, by the way. So let's open this plastic bag and take a look at the first sprue. Here you can see that we have some parts for the tail fairing. We also have some parts for the bonnet and also some of the cockpit elements, for example, pilot seat. And we have here a twin-seater because Trener is a training aircraft, surprise, surprise. So that's why there will be 2 seats inside in the cockpit. And here you can see, for example, some of the parts for the landing gear and for the cabin, and everything looks fine. Molding quality is really clean and crisp, so there is nothing to complain about. Note that tail wings are molded separately and elevators are molded separately, as well as the rudder, which is rather large, and again that's a typical feature of the training aircraft in my opinion. Next we continue with pilot seat. Here we have even some fuel tank, but I guess it won't be used in today's release. Next, plastic sprue. As you can see here, we have bonnet panels. We also have some of the parts for the cockpit and several types of the frontal panel for the engine bonnet. So I guess you can copy different types, and this is definitely handy because we have a lot of markings, and I guess the choice will depend on the marking option you choose for your build. But overall, again, we have a really nice molding quality, and attachment points are reduced to the possible minimum. They are quite thin, so it should be easy to separate it with a plastic saw maybe, or maybe with some plastic cutters, some professional ones. Next, I'm also glad that we have the frontal panel of the engine cooling as a one-piece part. It means that you won't have any gaps or, let's say, other ugly places in this area. And by the way, these were separate ailerons. But next we have 2 identical frames. They are completely filled with instrument panels, but this is not a surprise because we are dealing with a twin-seater, as I said before. And in the middle you can see several types of the propellers. Obviously one aircraft will need only one propeller, just a small reminder. So as long as you remember that we have a P thread included here, it means that you have to use the plain version of the instrument panel and just apply PE parts on top of it. Then actually PE parts will be defining the type of the aircraft you are copying in your build. Next, we continue with fuselage panels and wing parts. So here we have a classic parts division. Again, they're absolutely identical. Here you can take a look at two of them. And meanwhile, we can note that rudder, actually tail fin, is pre-molded together with each fuselage half. As you remember, we have ailerons separately, but flaps are molded in, and I guess for dropping them, you will have to buy a separate PE set. And recessed panel lines, also fabric surface is carefully imitated here. I really like what we see, but it's on par with the recent releases from Eduard, so nothing surprising to be honest, and that's a good thing. So here you can see all extra things which are supplied in this kit: decals, masks, and PE threads. And we will start with PE threads because they're rather large for such type of aircraft. Obviously, we have two identical PE threads, and these are typical Eduard products. So here you can take a closer look, and they are pre-painted. So it means they're ready to be used straight away. And note that they also have the glazing over the dials, which is also quite a good thing. It will give you a bit more realistic appearance, especially if you plan to open the cockpit on your aircraft. And of course, I'm happy to see seat belts included because again, they will be visible even with a closed canopy. So that's something what is recommended to install. Here we have mask sheet. So this one is a pre-cut. We have all necessary masks for clear parts and also for landing gear wheels. And this is actually a handy thing because it will speed up the painting process, as I said before. And here is another mask sheet. And again, quite the same finish. We have some masks for the camouflage elements, for the marking elements as far as I can see. But we'll have to check the assembly manual in order to understand where they go. So here my sister forgot to remove the backing paper, but I guess we get the whole idea of this decal sheet. So we have a segmentation, we have also aircraft numbers here, and there are not that many symbols actually, because as I said before, all these large stripes and other stuff on the aircraft, it will have to be copied by airbrushing, and that's actually a good thing because it will give you a bit more realistic appearance, even though it might be a bit more cumbersome for some of you. And of course we have anti-slip areas and anti-glare areas supplied as decals. Again, it is possible to copy them with masking, and in my opinion it's something worth doing because as long as you are going for the camouflage with masks, you can copy these things as well. So stencils are provided on separate small sheets, and here we have all necessary stencils for this aircraft. It's a 1/48 scale Trener, so that's why we have some technical writings, and it's really handy thing, but do not be lazy, apply them all. I know it's tedious procedure, but it's worth it, and it will improve the final appearance of the aircraft, if we can say so. Next, we continue with the assembly manual. So this is a typical Eduard brochure. We have also one of the markings here. You can take a closer look now on the last page, but obviously we will check all the markings when we will check whole assembly manual. And there is no history note, surprisingly, because I can see that we have cover, and I guess, yeah, here you can see that we immediately have the parts map. Blue color means that these parts will not be used, so let's zoom in a bit, and here you can take a closer look. So of course we also have some safety devices, but again I remind you that blue color means unused parts, and you can see that many parts will stay in your spare parts box, and it also hints on future releases which will copy different versions, different from what we have today. And on the next page we actually start with assembly process, and straight away you're met with a choice of the marking because it will define your choice of the parts. So you have to decide in the beginning on set of the whole assembly process. So be sure to follow the advices for each of the marking options so that you replicate the exact version of the aircraft needed for this camouflage or marking option which you would like to copy in 1/48 scale. But do not forget that we are dealing with a dual combo, so therefore you will be able to copy 2 marking options out of 10. Here we continue with assembly process. So basically we assemble some of the cockpit parts. Then we continue with instrument panels and install tail wings in place. We also install combing panels. Let's flip over the page. And here we actually work on the bonnet panel. So as far as I can guess, engine will be released as a separate resin kit. So in case you would like to copy it, you have to get a resin set which will be sold separately. Here, by the way, we install pilot seats. Quite an interesting assembly sequence, to be honest. Next, we continue with landing gear, legs, and also wheels. The same goes for the tail section. Here on the next page, you will see some of the canopy parts. So that's exactly what I was talking about. So you can copy open or closed canopy, and this is a really handy feature for a 1/48 scale aircraft. But again, some choices will depend on the marking option you choose. Next, we continue with masking guide. So you can see that some masks or their choice depends on the marking option you choose, and that's really cool that Eduard actually supplies masks for the marking elements, and it will make it easier. So here we have first aircraft from Homotov LKKND, and it also supplied in two versions because this aircraft was depicted in two versions, I guess. So that's really interesting. Here is the first one, and here is the second one from 1995. So old and new one, because first one was from 2021, as you can remember. But still, it's quite bright yellow aircraft. It was also on the box art, so it's something to copy. Next one is OKLMG from Rakovnik. It's a private owner aircraft. Still, blue color is quite unusual, even though we do not have anything extra. It's just one white stripe on the fuselage, and that's pretty much all. Next marking option is more interesting. It comes from Hungary, 2021, HATRM. And we have this nice race on the top of the wing, so it's something to copy on your aircraft, even though it might be a bit tricky for some modelers. Next is OKMUA from Kladno, Czechoslovakia, 1971. Also quite colorful one. Again, we have these stripes on the wing, so it will be something to have fun with. Do not forget that you are copying all this stuff with airbrush and masks. Another one from Rudnitsa nad Labem, OKKNM, white and blue aircraft. Also quite interesting one. I would say it might look simple, but it's still something stylish in my opinion. Next, OKMPAJ from Kladno, Czechoslovakia, 1970s. This one even has the picture or drawing on the bonnet, so also something interesting to have in your collection. Another one from OKMQL, Kralupin at Voltavo. And again, we have blue, red, and white. I would say somewhat classic marking, so maybe something to copy. This one is a bit more modern, I would say. It comes from Slovakia, OMMPX. And note that even stripes on the wing are finished in this low-vis scheme, I would say. Next is OMIFE from Slovakia, 2021. Again, white and blue. So I would say somewhat boring, but maybe some modelers will prefer to copy this particular option. And one more from Prague, Litnyany, OKKMR. And frankly speaking, I don't remember this aircraft on Litnyany because I'm flying from this airfield, but I've never seen it, so maybe I somehow missed it. So this kit should be already available. You can get it on official Eduard website. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such a list in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye!